With the wildcard being activated this week, let's go ahead and do one. Ariel at 4.2 makes the most sense. We've had him all season pretty much. I don't see a reason to get rid of him. He's had 2 shutouts in a row. The fixtures are somewhat there. If you pair him with Dubravka, you can just kind of mix and match throughout the season. The only thing I would consider would be Ortega if this Ederson injury is long term, especially through the double. Ortega at 3.8 would be an easy swap from Dubravka. Alexander-Arnold is where I wanted to start with, but looking at the team as a whole and all the players that I wanted to get, I feel like I can get
Are you really going to go without me?
away with not having him right now because he is injured. Now, he might just be injured for one game, but for right now, I'm going with Porro as he is the second best in XGI in the last 5 game weeks at 2.1, where Trent is at 2.8. And really the difference is key passes. Trent's got 21, which is far ahead of any other defender, and the next one is Porro at 11. So just my confidence right now with my first defender is going to go with Porro. Now my second defender would be someone that I want to target with the double game week for City. So looking at the whole team, I kind of wanted to go differential in the beginning. I thought Ake, but after the return from Walker and saw how far he got up in the field in the game, I really want to just stay with Walker. This is where it gets a little bit different. So a lot of us, you would probably see a Stupian or maybe an Arsenal defender. I am going with Moreno. And Moreno's got, for his XGI, is 1.5 in the last 5 game weeks, which is pretty high up there. He's very attacking. And I wanted to go a little bit different there. So Estupiñán might end up in my team at the end of this game week, but for right now, it's Moreno. Moving into my bench players. So I'm going to start 3 defenders, but for the bench right now will be Doughty, which a lot of us already have, but he's still low owned. I like that he's going to have a double at some point, and just having him there he'll just be on the bench anyways. But at 4.5, why not? He's very attacking for a Luton team that have scored like pretty much every game in the past 4 or 5 game weeks. And then we come up to my 5th defender. So a lot of people go really cheap here, like maybe Gusto or Van Heck. I am going to go with Burn. I do like Newcastle's fixtures later on down the road, so I think Burn is a pretty consistent player attacking. It tends to score here and there. Did have an assist in this game, so I think at 4.4, Burn's just a solid pick. When it comes to midfield, that's where our points come from, and so we want to have some confidence in those players. So Palmer staying on my team, nothing to talk about. Saka staying on my team, not a lot to talk about, so we're going to move on from them. This is where we get a little bit different. I like Gordon's minutes, and I like his ability to get up the field, and he can score against good teams. Look at today. He just had a great finish against City, and that's points that a lot of players, a lot of teams maybe have benched him. Debruyne coming off the bench, getting a goal after 4 minutes and change, and then getting the assist at the end. Even if he comes off the bench, I feel probably more confident with him than I do with Foden playing out wide. And then my final midfield spot, this is where I've gone back and forth on some players. I really like Elise. I just don't know what's going on with him, if he's going to be out just for one game. If it's one game, he probably stays on my team. I like him a lot, and he's a huge differential. But we don't know yet. So for right now, I'm keeping the one I just had in the beginning of the season, which was Neto. If you remember Neto in the beginning of the season, he was consistently getting 5, 6, 7 points a game. If you look at that run, he had like 6, 7, 8 games in a row where he did not blank. For my front line, I went a little bit different because right now the template is Alvarez, Solanke, Watkins. Nothing wrong with that, right? Everyone pretty much has that at the moment. So why don't we go a little bit different, and I'll explain why I'm going to go a little bit different. So let's start off with Solanke. So I'm going to keep Solanke. He's on penalties. I love that. The fixtures aren't amazing. I just feel very confident having him, and he has the ability to get the hat trick. So love that too. So he's just going to stay at the moment. Then it gets a little bit different. So instead of having Watkins, the reason I don't want Watkins, even though the fixtures are great, he can do amazing. He's not on penalties. I love to have 3 guys up front that are on penalties. So I want to go with Tony. You say to yourself, well, he hasn't even played a game yet. So I'm still going to be able to see the game, so I can switch it before the next game week. But I love the idea that he's on penalties, and who else is going to score for this team, right? Not a lot of help going forward. He's got a double also. So I kind of want to have Tony now. And then to fund that, I will drop down to João Pedro. Now, I know He's a headache to have because you just never know when he's going to start. But guess what? They're running out of players. He's been starting. He's on penalties. And at the moment, he allows me to get some other players that I want to get, and I'm going to explain that right now. With the current template that I have right now, in 2 moves, I can get Haaland and Salah. So I can go from Solanke, that I loved. I said I can go Solanke right to Haaland, all right? Because I want to make sure that I do have 3 City players going into the double, right? And if Haaland isn't back, if say this injury goes further, then I can go to someone like Silva or Foden in the midfield. I like the flexibility of that. And then for Salah, how do I get Salah back? I know I talked about hold all this season, but if I want to just do it in 1 move, I can go Saka to Salah and still have 0.2 left. And that's to get in 2 moves. That would allow me to have De Bruyne, Salah, and Haaland. Well, that's it for this edition of the Differential Show. Please make sure you watch the next one, which will have my actual wildcard draft right before the deadline.